Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. It's been a while since we've talked about Swordsoul, and with Long One coming back to 3, let's see how good the deck is. Now, obviously, I'm playing this pre-ban list, and I should be playing it post-ban list, but it's not really that big of a deal. I think 2 versus 3 Long One isn't really going to change a whole lot, but it does give us a general idea as how good Swordsoul is, specifically in the current metagame. And not a lot has changed with the deck. There's not really any new additions that we could realistically play or any new variants. It's still just 10-yi Swordsoul. It's standard Swordsoul, and again, not much has really changed. So I'm going to do the quick card by card and the analysis. Starting off with the 10-yis, we're playing quite a few of them. I originally was playing a fewer amount, but I felt like I was just missing out on a lot of worms. So I figured, hey, let's play more, so that at least if I go first, I don't brick and end up on nothing. So we're playing the 2 Adhara, the 1 Chthona, 2 Vishada, and triple Ashana. This is pretty standard in terms of a 10-yi lineup. Sometimes you play 3 Adhara. I'm not too big of a fan of it, but it's not really that big of a deal. As for the Swordsouls, 3 Moye, 2 Taya, this should be 3 Long One, let's be honest, and 3 Ecclesia. Pretty standard, again. There's not really anything else to say about this. That's kind of it. We all know what these cards do at this point, hopefully. If you don't, Moye creates a token on summon. Taya banishes from grave to create a token. And then Long One can pitch a card from hand to create a token and summon itself. Pretty simple. Hopefully you know what these do, because I'm not really going to explain them too much. And you'll see them in action anyway. As for the rest of the cards, we are playing the triple Maxi, the triple Ash Blossom, where we're running 1 Nibiru, because I didn't really want to cut it for anything else. I feel like Nibiru is still pretty good. Not insane, but pretty good. We're also running 1 Protoss, as a search target off of Emergence. Protoss isn't all that great right now. I feel like a lot of decks aren't just going into dark monsters like there was in the past. Even something like Branded now has a lot more avenues in terms of light monsters to go into to contest Protoss and to still make a decent board. So realistically, I feel like Protoss is not that great, at least in a best of 1. So there's that. As for the spells, we are running 1 Pot of Desires, 2 Triple Tactics Talents. Tactics is so good. I feel like it's so good, specifically in this deck. Being able to draw cards, being able to take control of an opponent's monster, being able to specifically look at the opponent's hand after getting Maxi'd in order to know whether or not you can OTK is very helpful. So lots of good applications with the triple tax. Then we have triple Emergence, obviously. We're also running 2 Called By, 2 Heavenly Dragon Circle. This card is absolutely insanely good. I thoroughly love it. It's not in every build, but I thoroughly enjoy it. It works well with the 10-yis, allowing you access to basically your Swordsoul engine through the 10-yis, which is pretty nice. But then on top of that, it also allows you to dodge things like Imperm, which are very scary for this deck. So being able to do that is, again, very nice. Now, this could be like Crossout, but honestly, I think Crossout is just worse in this deck than, like, Heavenly Dragon Circle. 3 Imperm, and then, of course, the 1 Blackout. As for the extra deck, we're running 1 Yazi, 2 Baxia, 1 Draco Berserker, 1 Dragite, the 2 Qishao, the 1 Chaofeng, 1 Baron, 1 Sinister Sovereign, what is this guy? Chinging. 1 Sinister Sovereign, Qixing Long One, whose name I probably am butchering. A Psychic End Punisher, which, honestly, this card could be cut. I never summoned it. It's good, and it comes up occasionally. Like, if you're not locked into worms off of a Shunna and you have a 7 and a token, you can go into this guy, and then he's good. But it's so very situational. It's not terrible, but it's difficult to actually make work. And then we have the 2 Monks and the 1 Shaman. And that's it for the deck. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performed. Alright, so here we are, not playing the game. I lied to you. There's no game to be played here. We're just going to set 4 and pass. Sometimes you just draw hands like this, you know. But luckily it worked here, because we now get to Called By that Chandelier. Get him out of there. That one. Get him. Get him. Get him. Cool. How much do you want to bet they normal summon an already? Oh, well, would you look at that? Of course they have it. So, yeah, Imperm for that. there's not really anything else I can do except for hope that I draw into something good. It's fine. I'll simply draw Moye. It's not that big of a deal. Anyway, my opponent passes. Play passes back to me. And, of course, I draw into Moye. Except better. So we're going to go for the Ecclesia here, to which my opponent will Ash Blossom. And I'm like, that's fine. Sorry. That's not fine. I'd much rather called by the Ash Blossom. Of course they have a Maxi in hand. They're, of course. Right? Of course they have a Maxi. Why would they not have a Maxi in hand? Anyway, so, yes, I know that the Maxi is there. I have to called by the Ash. Like, I need this to resolve. Way more. I do not care as much about the Maxi, because they have a card on field, and they're playing Labyrinth, so, like, and Chandelier has been called by, so they can't really do anything right now. So, yeah, anyway. We go for the Moye, we go into Chi-Xiao. Moye activates its effect. Or Chainlink 1, Chi-Xiao, Chainlink 2, Moye. We draw into triple attack, which is pretty nice. And I add a Taiya because I haven't normal summoned. So I'm going to look at my opponent's deck here, and they fire off a Bestial Megademut, which is, well, troublesome, because now I don't think I can OTK. But that's okay. We're going to look at their hand, and, well, that is... we're playing 2 of this card? What? Why? Okay. Sure. They're playing 3. I'm lying to you. They're just playing 3 of this card. I do not know why. I put back the Gamma. There's not really anything else I'm worried about in that hand. Like, sure, I guess put back the Gamma. It's live, technically, at, you know, if I clear the field. Anyway, we're going to go Draco Berserker here off of the Taiya. Taiya is going to dump the Ashana. And then we're going to go to the battle phase. We're going to walk over the Magnamut in order to activate its effect, in order to boost our guy, and then deal 39 into 28. It's close to lethal, but not quite, and they do get a search during the end phase, which is Albaz, and I'm like, sure, dude, if you're going to waste your normal summon on Albaz, that probably means you don't really have anything, so I'm totally fine with that. And of course they do end up normal summoning Albaz, and I'm like, dope. Anyway, go away. Goodbye. Draco Berserker says no. So, away it goes. And, Nadir Servant is what they had. Yeah, I guess. Sure. Why not? Entis, pop the back row. I'm surprised they didn't pop Chi-Xiao. I feel like Chi-Xiao is obviously the destruction. You don't know what the set card is. Like, it could be anything. But, you'll see in a second why they do that. Anyway, they go Ecclesia. I'm gonna negate with the Chi-Xiao, like, obviously. And I accidentally banished the incorrect card here. Because now I can't summon Protoss because I banished the wind. So, whoops, not really that big of a deal, but whatever. Then they set a card. And 5 Rainbow Magician sets itself into the Pendulum Zone. This is a very fun card. If you don't know what this card does, let me read it to you real quick. Its Pendulum effect is, you cannot Pendulum Summon it except from the extra. This effect cannot be negated. Each player applies 1 of these effects based on the number of set cards in their spell and trap card zones. If you control 0 set cards, all monsters they control cannot attack or activate their effects. And if you control 4, all attacks become double. Hooray! Konami, why are you like this? What? Huh? Okay, cool. Yeah, no. Yeah. So, now I can't activate nor attack. Cool. I draw Moye, which doesn't do anything, so I'm just gonna pass. Cool. My opponent passes as well. Great. 10 out of 10. I draw a Spell Trap! Congratulations, we can play the game! And my opponent concedes. So, yeah. Rainbow Magician. Nice. Alright. Here we are going first. Again. But this time we're actually going first. So this may seem weird, but we're going to start out with Emergence. Now, I grab Taiya. Because if I'm smart and actually know how to play the deck, I can go Normal Summon Taiya. Well, hold on. Yeah, Normal Summon Taiya, Special Summon Longwan. Special Summon Shithana. Then Normal Summon Taiya. And activate its effect, banishing the Emergence, grabbing a token. We go Longwan, pitch the Vashetta, Special Summon out, then go into Sinister Sovereign, then use Taiya Actually, we don't summon the Shithana. I'm lying to you. We don't do that. That's not a thing that we do. We go Sinister Sovereign into the sorry, Long One into the Sinister Sovereign. Then we go Taya into the Baxia. Then we go yeah, then we go Taya, dump Moye. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think there's a way that you can do this correctly. Haven't quite figured it out, but I'm sure that there is. I think I need another Tenyi or something like that in hand. Anyway. Taya, etc. Basically, the idea is, with the Baxia, you can dump Moye, and then Moye can be special summoned in order to get you another Synchro Summon by revealing another card in hand. I think if I just kept the Long One instead of trying to get greedy with it, that probably was the play. So that's why I grabbed the Taya, but then I'm like, nah, I want to draw 2. So I actually go for this. And then I realized, oh wait, I don't have Moye, so I'm not actually drawing 2 because I'm stupid. But that's fine, I'm still drawing 1 and searching, so there you go. Anyway, I'm also going to dump with the Taya. And I believe I sent the Ashana. Yep, Ashana. We draw the Ecclesia, which is pretty nice. I grab Blackout, since I already activated my search effect, I believe. Yeah, we already activated this. And we go for Monk. We then banish the Ashana, and we grab up the Adhara, and then Adhara into Monk, into Adhara effect, to grab back the Ashana, so that we can use it for next turn. But now we get to set the Blackout. And, yeah, there you go, pass. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. My opponent's going to start out with a Rhoda, grab up a Raisin, because of course, and normal summon the Raisin. Now, this may seem very telegraphed, like, oh, of course, they're going to have Borger or Caesar Valius in hand. They're normally summoning the Raisin. I still have to activate the Chixiao here, because if I don't, Raisin gets to freely destroy my Chixiao, and it doesn't accomplish anything. And I don't want that. That's a no-no, that's bad. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to get rid of the Raisin. At the very least, like, it forces out the Heavy Borger. Great, okay, that's fine. Whatever. Right, out comes the Heavy Borger, and I'm like, cool, I can banish this, and then they don't have a thing on field. Except for, you know, Xiaolong can special summon itself. I'm like, yeah, honestly, this should be okay. I'm still going to banish the Heavy Borger. They're going to draw a card. They reveal the Magnemite. I'm like, okay, that's a little annoying, but it's fine. It's not really that big of a deal. Out comes Xiaolong. We deal to 12. They activate their effect. I'm like, okay, this is probably just reveal 1 to change a battle position, to walk over it, right? There's no shot they have 2. Of course they have 2 fighters. And one of them's Kurikara.
Okay.
Sure. Add Caesar Valius, of course. And away goes my Synchro. Oh no! Divacarnate, sure. And then they go... Here's the mistake, okay? They go to battle phase. Now, if you don't know, character select doesn't happen in battle, which means you can't tag out with your Caesar Valius because you're in battle phase now. You're no longer on the main menu. Isn't that cool? I like that. Anyway, so Caesar Valius can't be activated during the battle phase is what I'm trying to say. So you can't tag out into the Caesar Valius. So I just, they know I have Blackout. I just get to clear the field for free. And then my opponent goes, it's fine. I'll just Bestial Magnemite. Magnemite doesn't do anything here. Even if they have it, like, it doesn't do anything. Because it's not a Vanquish Soul. It literally doesn't accomplish anything. So this is a bit weird. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I have Shithana engraved. We get to pop the card. We're off to the races. It's looking clean. They add the second Caesar Valius, so we know 2 Caesar Valius and a Raisin is in hand. So there's, I think it's actually 2 Raisin, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's just the 1. Anyway, Ecclesia, normal summon. Of course they have the Ash Blossom. Why would they not? Now, granted, I am at this point not scared of, like, anything in hand. I know 3 of the cards in hand, and I'm sure the other 2 basically don't do anything, so I'm like, it's fine. I'm going to use this Triple Tactics Talents instead to draw 2. So we're going to draw 2, and they are terrible. Anyway, it's fine. I drew the Ashana. It doesn't matter. We go into the Shaman of the Tenyi, we pitch a card in order to bring back the Taya. Taya effect is then going to banish the Blackout so that we can get another token, just in case. And then we are going to banish the Ashana in order to summon out another Bishara. And then out comes Draco Berserker. Not really that big of a deal what we go into here, because we have lethal on field. That's the whole point of this. We're just getting lethal onto the field. We're also going to add back the Ashana, because why not? And, yeah. Good game. Now, this is one of the benefits of playing the, or going for the Sinister Sovereign line as opposed to something like Changing or Baron, because, yeah, burning your opponent and then being able to just, like, OTK through that with significantly less damage is pretty nice. So, good game. Alright, and here we are, once again, going first. And this is a pretty decent hand. 2 Ash Blossoms isn't great, but the rest of the hand is great. So we're going to start off with the normal summon of Moye effect to grab up the token, and then we're going to activate the Emergence, which will promptly be Ash. And I'm like, that's fine. Now, again, the play that I most of the time want to actually go for is Sinister Sovereign into Qishao into draw 2 to see my non-engine. I feel like the non-engine tends to do a little bit better in the in Swordsoul than the actual engine pieces. So I'm more concerned about that. And yeah. Anyway, this gets ashed. My dreams go out the window, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna go for the Qishao here. We're gonna Chainlink 1 Qishao, Chainlink 2 Moye, and I'm like, cool. I don't know what I'm gonna add here. Maybe I add the long one. Maybe I add like Taya. Oh, cool. I'm adding long one here. Drawing a worm here makes this so much better because, yeah, like obviously I'm just gonna go for the long one. I was considering previously to go for the Taya because Qishao Blackout with Taya follow-up is pretty decent. At the very least, I have Ash. So that's like, you know, something I can at least contest the board fairly decently. But then you draw a Shana, and it's like, okay, cool. I'll just go long one, and now we can make the Changing as well. Now, I also decided to go for the Ashana into Shithana. I don't know why I go Shithana. My idea is like, oh, if my opponent walks over Monk, I get to pop their card with Shithana. I should just go Adhara. Adhara, add back the Ashana is like a million times better. I don't know what I'm thinking. I have high hopes. Anyway, burn up to 12, because long one is a cool card. And then go into Monk, and set 1 and pass. Pretty good, all things considered, but could have been better. And my opponent is playing Mathmech. Or, I guess, Cyber's Pile at this point. It's not really Mathmech. Anyway, Outcomes Edition. My opponent didn't really start off that well. Normal summon Firewall Guardian is, like, the worst normal summon, so yikes. Anyway, Outcomes Alan Bershin. I'm like, well, obviously I have to Ash this, right? So I'm going to Ash, Blossom, keep the Qishao alive, you know. My opponent goes for the Called By, and I'm like, wait a second. There's something interesting here. Now, if you don't know, Sinister Sovereign, or I keep calling this the wrong thing, Changing has an effect where you can banish one card, if it would be destroyed by battle or card effect, just card effect. I don't know why I'm saying battle. If it would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish one card from your graveyard instead. Now, that's any card, as opposed to Qishao, which specifically requires a Worm or a Swordsoul. So, because this is at point of resolution as a replacement effect, that means we can pop our own monster utilizing Blackout, protect it, and then banish the Ash from our grave that is currently being targeted for Called By. So we're going to pop the 2 cards, banish the Ash Blossom, and still negate their monster that is currently trying to search. Coolio. Anyway, they have triple tag. Oh no. I just used my Ash. Oh no. Anyway, they didn't draw anything. Sad day. Now, to be fair, they would have needed, like, exactly either 2 Imperms or something else to deal with the Qishao, or Changing, and an Imperm, and then specifically circular. Nothing else does it there. It had to be specifically circular. So, I guess they didn't have it. Good game. Alright, we're back with the deck, and in all honesty, this deck is fine. I feel like it's a little bit too fair. There isn't really anything that it does too well. It's not consistently vomiting out monsters like something like Branded or Cyberse or something like that. And it doesn't really have this like mid-range style that works very well like Kashtira does, or Zodiac, I guess, is like a good option. Because it does require you to play a lot of engine, right? I don't think it's bad by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely don't think it's like top tier anymore. I think it really has fallen quite a bit. It's just become too fair. And I think a lot of it is Protoss doesn't do much anymore. Like, when it originally started seeing play, it was pretty good because it basically stopped Branded from ever getting to any of its good fusion material. It stopped a lot of other decks as well, just being able to call Dark. Like, it stopped Labyrinth, it stopped this, that, or the other thing. Even like Tri-Brigade not being able to summon Shureg or Access Code. Pretty impactful, right? But at the moment, it kind of just doesn't do anything. Like, it kind of does, but not really. There's so many other decks, right? Like, Vanquish Soul is probably the most popular deck, so calling Dark against that kind of does stuff, but not really. Then there's Mathmech, which can play through that pretty heavily because most of it is different attributes as well. And then you have, like, Labyrinth, which is a trap deck. Well, yeah, calling Dark is pretty nice. It also kind of doesn't care because it could just Compulse or something along those lines, or, you know, summon a monster prior to that, etc. Right, like in the draw phase, it could do that. You have, like, Branded, which now has a lot more light monsters to play around the Dark calling, so it's not really that big of a deal. Again, so, like, Protoss has fallen off quite a bit in terms of its usability, especially in the current metagame. And it's only going to fall off more because of things like Rescue Ace and Fire King and stuff like that. Just not really caring all that much. Well, maybe a little, but eh. But on top of that, the rest of the board is kind of okay. Like, most decks can play through a Baron and a Shishao. Most decks can play through Blackout. Most decks can put up more interactions than that. And honestly, almost all of them can out-Moye normal summon. So there's that. But even with that being said, I still think the deck is pretty good. It's just kind of fallen off a bit. It's not as good as it was. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy it. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.